Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to NBA Loop. For each one honorable way to succeed, there are a dozen ways to cheat in order to get there too. Over the thousands of years of sport, these people take the cake for doing it dirty. There are many ways to cheat in the game, but let's look at 7 NBA players who got caught breaking the rules and got heavily fined for it. Number 1. John Calipari violates recruiting rules. The 2008 Memphis Tigers had their entire season record wiped out after it was revealed that the coach had rigged guard Derrick Rose's SATs and had the university pay for Rose's brother's travel expenses. There is a nasty trend in college sports these days, coaches knowingly violating recruiting rules to take their teams to the top. Calipari is a great coach, but even he can fall a victim to greed.
Do you support Derrick Rose?
Absolutely. Let me say
you're
this.
my kind of guy.
I coach Derrick.
Number 2. Arizona State basketball team. Stephen Smith and other ASU players were involved in a scandal involving a local bookkeeper that bribed them to shave points, preventing them from overtaking the spread. Benjamin Stillman was sentenced to nearly 4 years in a federal prison after pleading guilty to fixing 4 Arizona State basketball games and accepting money from gamblers at the end of the 1994 season. A total $568,000 was wagered by professional sports handicappers of the approval of Stillman. Number 3. Metta World Peace. Someone who does make the list, though, is Metta World Peace, formerly known as Ron Artest. He picked up 4 fines from 2003 to this April, amounting fees totaling to $75,000. It's safe to say that World Peace has had a turbulent career, attracting significant media attention for his handful of disciplinary and legal issues. But he suffered one of his biggest fines in January 2003, when he was suspended for 3 games without pay and fined $35,000 by the NBA for hurling a television monitor and smashing a camera to pieces following the Pacers' loss to the Knicks.
Artest had a rough game.
You receive a bill for throwing the monitor right there.
That's just immaturity. And then he hits the cameraman. That's disgraceful. Ron Artest, who we've been praising all game for his intensity, but as we said, sometimes he straddles the line, sometimes he goes over it, and just showing some immaturity after that loss.
More than a year later, in May 2004, World Peace, still with the Pacers, was fined another $10,000 for making an obscene gesture in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Detroit Pistons. But the biggest penalty came later that year when he was suspended in November for the rest of the season without pay, costing him upwards of $5 million. Number 4. Allen Iverson. Coming in 4th is Allen Iverson. Thanks to the 6 fines he collected in 2003 to this April, Iverson has paid the NBA $87,500 for his unruly behavior. You can no longer find AI on the court, but before he hung up his shoes, Iverson collected a series of high-profile fines. One of them being the $25,000 punishment he paid while with the Nuggets for criticizing a referee following a game against the Philadelphia 76ers. His former team played in January 2007.
Referee the game. All right, so what you want about the crowd? Allen, that's because you're not going to do that. Play the game yourself.
You let people get it away.
Allen, the conversation is over.
Number 5. Vladimir Radmanovic. Laugh all you want at the reason because it's definitely the craziest one on this list. Just don't be surprised if the 6'10" Yugoslavia native doesn't find it nearly as funny. Just when the Shaq vs. Kobe beef was starting to take a backseat, the Lakers fined Radmanovic $500,000 for violating his contract of staying healthy in the offseason when he separated his shoulder while snowboarding. Talk about the ultimate insult to injury, and it's safe to say he learned his lesson after this incident. Number 6. Shaquille O'Neal. Getting closer to the top of the mountain, we come to Shaquille O'Neal, a retired superstar who racked up the same amount of fines, 6, as Iverson, but paid a higher price for them, $145,000 in fact. O'Neal suffered his biggest fine in 2010 when he was forced to pay $35,000 for his public comments regarding the officiating following Boston's 86-78 Christmas Day loss to Orlando. Then Celtic O'Neal didn't agree with the call that resulted in his 6th foul when Magic center Dwight Howard fell to the court as they were wrestling for the possession, and he made sure the officials understood that after the game. Everyone heard loud and clear, including the league. Number 7. Rasheed Wallace. Last, but unfortunately for him, definitely not least, is Rasheed Wallace. He rang up a solid 8 fines for $205,000 during the 2003 to April 2013 period, and now the retired pro baller has 2 significantly high fines to thank for contributing to that total. One such penalty came in April 2010 when Wallace was fined $35,000 for criticizing officials. The forward, then with the Boston Celtics, made sure that officials in the April 19, 2010 game knew that he didn't agree with their calls. The officials, in return, made sure he paid for his criticism. That punishment came 2 years later after Wallace was fined another $25,000 for similar behavior as a Detroit Piston. He swore at officials following a loss to the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Rasheed Wallace picks up the foul. That's his second.
This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.